Morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. My name is Dante, also known as Fornex from the Rocket Pool community. And I'm here with Ken. Will you introduce yourself, Ken?
Yeah, hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Battle Week. My name's Ken Smith. I'm one of the community members and rocket scientist with Rocket Pool, and glad to be here.
Nice. So we are here today to talk about, this is the Rocket Builders workshop, and we're here to let everyone know how easy it is and how everyone can be a node operator and a validator for securing the Ethereum network. I'm Fornex, and I'm not on the Rocket Pool team. I'm just a big enthusiast. And this workshop was funded by the Rocket Pool community through its grants committee. So, let me just start on the why stake your Ether to secure the network. And I'll start with a small story, because I promised Kent that I would tell that here. I'm from Brazil and came here just for, it's my first Ethereum conference. And there's a funny story on the immigration. Maybe not sure how many of you came from other countries and passed through this nice immigration process. And the guy asked what I was doing here, and I said, hey, I'm here for a blockchain conference. I'm so excited. And he said, did you say bomb chain? No, sir, I said blockchain conference. I didn't say bomb chain. And he said, there, you said again. And I, what? I said I didn't say bomb chain. But you said again. And at this point, I was, no, this guy is kidding me. I started laughing. No, you probably have a strike system. If I say 3 times, it's straight to jail. And I guess they don't like jokes. And I got a nice invite for the room. Not sure if any of you have been to the room, the immigration room, where some officers do a lot of questions, and they started asking a lot of questions about blockchain. And what's a blockchain? Why people use it? And where does the value come from? And I guess he just wanted a free course on blockchain. And it was a nice 30 minutes asking a lot of, answering lots of blockchain related questions. So that was a kind of new experience and kind of a welcoming for the, and a preparation, I guess, for this, for this moment. And I had to answer why the blockchain is valuable, because so many people think it's interesting to use those networks and have a true trustless system, a true neutral system where no one has, where you can develop system where no one has an admin key to change things. That is a really powerful statement, right? And this relates to why stake your ETH. So the first and biggest reasons to secure the network, so that we can have this credibly neutral system that where everyone can trust that there is a shared ledger that no one can isolatedly change. They would need to have a majority of validators to change the state of the network. So that's the main reason that we're would tell someone to create a validator on the Ethereum network. And since this is a beginner workshop, I'm going to give some really basic concepts here. So, and maybe in the end, we're also going to have some more advanced and even for the future deployments, future developments on both Rocket Pool and Ethereum. So to become an Ethereum validator, you need to stake 32 ETH, and you lock that on a smart contract, and you make a commitment to run Ethereum clients, both execution clients and consensus clients, that one client of each type that need to be connected to each other. So it is a commitment to keep those clients running 24/7 and updating and keeping the node as secure as possible. We currently have more than 500,000 validators securing the Ethereum network, so that's times 32 ETH, so that's an amazing amount of Ether securing the network. So an attacker that would try to attack the network would need to be heavily invested in the network to be able to perform any kind of attack. So he would need to have so much Ether that he would be the most impacted by these attacks. So it's a very interesting way to align the people that are securing the network with the health of the network, as compared to a proof of work system, where the miners would just run a software with GPUs, and they wouldn't suffer anything if they tried to grab enough hash power to perform an attack. They could just continue attacking, and on proof of stake, they would have that capital slashed, so they really suffer from that attack. And the next good reason for people to become a staker, to become a validator, is to earn rewards. So we have both consensus rewards that include attestations that you receive a small amount every epoch, that is 6.4 minutes. You can be selected to be part of a sync committee, and sync committees are a group of 512 validators that are randomly selected every 27 hours to attest on blocks on each slot. So, and a slot is every 12 seconds. So you have a new block every 12 seconds. So the sync committee is a very, very, what's the word? Rare, because it is expected to happen every 2 years, maybe a bit more now, but also very profitable, because you receive those rewards every 12 seconds. And also, you receive rewards when you are also randomly selected to be the block proposer. That is expected to happen every 2 months or a bit more now. Depends on the number of validators. And when you propose a block, you receive a bit of consensus rewards that go to your balance on the Beacon chain, but also execution rewards that include tips, and tips are small amounts of Ether paid by users that want to include their transactions on the block, and also MEV. And I'm going to explain MVV a little better in a few minutes. Feel free to add anything if you would like.
Doing great.
And so that is the basic concept of staking your Ether to become an Ethereum validator. And now I'm going to explain why Rocket Pool makes it easier. You have initially, the first and most important is that it reduces the entry cost. Instead of needing 32 ETH, you only need 16 plus 1.6 ETH of RPL. That's the Rocket Pool token. And soon it's going to be even lower, only needing 8 ETH plus 2.4 worth of RPL. So that's a very much lower entry cost. And we also have a very interesting mechanism that is a good incentive for people creating their node. That I'm also going to explain it better in a few moments. But when you create a new validator, a new mini pool that's called on Rocket Pool, you have the opportunity to perform an arbitrage operation and profit from it. So it covers your deployment cost and also gives you some profit from it. We also have some extra rewards, because instead of having just one validator with your 32 ETH, you could instead have 2 mini pools, and you earn the reward from your Ether, and also 15% commission on the 32 ETH provided by the protocol. So and also on the RPL that you needed to stake to create those mini pools, you have rewards that every 28 days, that is equivalent to, we have a RPL inflation every 28 days, that is 5%, and 70% of that goes to node operators, 15 to the grants committees, and 15 to the Oracle DAO. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to discuss is because many people are afraid, maybe, to it's a new concept to keep this machine running, and it usually needs a Linux distribution. Well, most people use Linux, and it can be a challenge to some people to do that. So one other very interesting thing is that Rocket Pool has some excellent guides on how to do these things. Most of them written by Joe. Let me just grab some other.
Yeah, I'd say, just to add to kind of the commentary here, that I'd mention 2 things. One, if you're in the audience and you're interested in staking and you're like, I don't quite know if I have the technical capabilities, I don't know if I get stuck, if there's going to be somebody out there to help, I'd say the strongest asset of Rocket Pool right now is the community and the Discord channel that it has. That almost any time of day, you can get on there, and one of the community members that's more experienced will certainly help you with the installation. But you'll see today the installation is pretty simple, but it still helps to know there's a lot of people there that are going to be willing to step in and help your validator get going if you get stuck. And to the earlier point about the what I call the accessibility of staking, 32 ETH, even at today's prices, is a significant amount of money. And so by using a staking pool like Rocket Pool, you could reduce the capital needed, right? You're hearing the kind of soon-to-be only 8 ETH required. And I think there's going to be an announcement during the main presentation. Rocket Pool's a sponsor of of ETH Denver this year, and you'll hopefully hear an announcement to that on Thursday, I think it is. The other thing I'll mention to it in terms of earning rewards is because when you stake with Rocket Pool, you put only 8, but the Ethereum protocol requires 32. 24 ETH is coming from liquid stakers, and you earn a commission. It's going to be 14%, but since you're earning that on 3 times the amount that you put in, you really earn 46% node commission, and that is just an exceptional return if you're just looking at kind of dollar cost. But again, the main purpose of staking, we believe strongly in Rocket Pool, is to secure the network, and we believe by it's 46% on the return, on the overall return. So like as it's mentioned here, your execution layer returns vary by MEV and TIPS. Your consensus layer returns are about 4%. So you earn an extra 46% on that, right? So it doesn't quite come to 46%, but it's 46% of, I'd say roughly around 7.5% is I think what most of our nodes are making. I'm seeing some shaking heads that are in there. So definitely do your math, do your research on it. But that thing, I like calling it a multiplication factor, does come in quite handy.
Thank you, Ken. So I invite you guys to join the Discord. Here's the link is there, discord.gg/rocketpool. And there you'll find 24/7 people available to to answer any of your questions. We have some really big brains that are donating their time there and answering the most complex scenarios that you guys can come up. You have many users that are willing to help you fix any issues that you may find. So here's my shout out to the support guys. Thank you. Well, one thing that is important that I didn't explain properly was that Rocket Pool, the protocol, it has 2 big groups of users that it intends to serve. The ones that are willing to make that commitment to have a machine running 24/7, and maybe people that really like the computer and tinkering with software. And we also have users that, hey, I just have a small amount of it and I don't want, or for other reasons, maybe for tax purposes, they prefer to just stake that Ether without running the software. So Rocket Pool matches those 2 kinds of users. Well, one willing to run the software, makes this initial deposit, and the remaining Ether to be used to create the validator is going to be pooled by the second group of users that just want to make deposits and receive the yield without making the commitment to run the software. So for those that I'm going to discuss mostly here, the features that make the life easier for this group, that is the node operators, to make their life easier to run that software. We have some special features created either by the Rocket Pool team or by the Rocket Pool community. The main thing that makes life easier is the Smartnode. It is a CLI tool with a terminal user interface that makes it really easy, and I'm going to show that interface in a few moments. You just really need to select the options that you want to run, select your client, if you have a fallback or not, how you want your MV boosts, and you're ready to go. It's a piece of software that is really well done and deserves many compliments here for the team. Another very interesting feature of Rocket Pool is that we have the smoothing pool, which is a contract that with the intention of when you, as I mentioned, when you're being selected to propose a block, that could happen, that is going to happen in a random manner. So it could take maybe months for you to be selected to be a block proposer. And that way, that source of income is really unknown as when you're going to be selected. So if you have the option to join the smoothing pool, and every operator who joins that smoothing pool will send their rewards to this contract that is going to be shared equally and proportionally to the amount of validators that each operator has, so that you reduce this what's the term, this variability, thank you, and have a steady and expected income flow. So that's a very interesting, you kind of don't need to worry, hey, I'm really 5 months without being selected, you're still having an income from the pool. On the other hand, if you are selected and you receive a really big reward, you don't receive the big reward, it's going to be equally shared among all the node operators that joined that pool. So it's a trade-off. You kind of waive any big winnings for a steady and certain win every 28 days. I'm talking about it. Oh, let's finish here. Another very interesting feature is the Rocket Rescue node, and that is a community-driven feature, initially by Popash and Patches and Object that worked on this really amazing service. That is a node that runs both clients, an execution and consensus client, that is available to be used as a fallback for any node operator. So, which means that when your node is down for any reason, you need to perform some updates, or you had some issues, your disk is full, any problems with that, you can just connect to the rescue node and use it as a fallback, so you can continue performing your duties, your attestations and proposing blocks, and while taking your clients down and performing what you need to fix there. So that is a amazing feature for node operators, because it takes away this pressure of, hey, you need to be 24/7 online, and you can take some downtime and not worry about it, and you continue receiving the rewards. So that's a very interesting thing to have. And it's available to any Rocket Pool node operator. You just, currently, the operators ask for these credentials to use the rescue node, but we have a website. Let me show it to you guys. Rescue. I'm not sure if this one is on. So we have the rescuenode.com website, and it has the instructions on how you would request these credentials to use this service. And it only takes a signed message from your node wallet, and you paste that information here, and it will give you an URL to use, and you can use that for 15 days. So even if you need a full resync. If you need to wait for some new part to arrive, you're covered, and you can renew those credentials 4 times per year. So that's really amazing. I mentioned here the MEV boost as a as just as a feature from the Smartnode that it makes it really easy to select which relays you want your node to communicate. So if you have concerns about regulated or unregulated relays, the Smartnode makes it really easy for you to select which kinds of relays we want to connect. Anything you want to add? Okay. Smartnode, as I mentioned, it abstracts all the complexity of installing those clients. The basic installation is using Docker. So as I mentioned, you just select your client. It supports all the major clients, Geth, Nethermind, and Bezel for execution, and Lighthouse, Teku, Prism, and Lodestar and Nimbus for the consensus client. And it makes it super easy to update. When you update a new version of when you download a new version of the Smartnode, it will already update all the versions of the clients for you, and you really don't need to worry about anything. It also comes with some very interesting monitoring tools, as Grafana and Prometheus. Grafana, not sure if any of you have used. It's a software that helps you keep track of the node metrics. I have here a dashboard it shows you like every metric, every important metric about your node. So for those that really want to improve their node, their performance, you find here every information that you may need. It's like your battle station here. And you can also set alarms, alerts, from like when your disk is almost full, you can receive an alert. Or for any metric that you can see here, you can configure an alert. But that will only work when your node is online. So another very interesting product to use is the Beacon Chain mobile application, where you can monitor your validator and opt to receive notifications when it is offline, and that will work even when your node is offline. So, so if you have if your node loses power, you can be notified and act on it. So those tools are super useful to keep track of your node performance.
Before you go on there, I think one of the key things, especially if you're sort of new to this, that it may not be entirely clear, is to run an Ethereum node. It is getting better, but right now it requires, I think, no less than 3 different pieces of software, right? You need one Ethereum client called the execution layer client, or the execution client. You need another one called the consensus layer client, or the consensus client. And you can mix and match from the slide that was shown, right? There's a third one that you're running, which sometimes is one and the same, or sometimes it could be different, which is your validating client. It's kind of the client that actually signs your signature to a test to each block that, or each block that you've been assigned to, right? Most validators will probably run the 4th client, which is your MEV boost, because you would like to gain the chance to win one of these lottery blocks or to make extra income on there. So you're running 4 clients, right? 3 that you need, 4 that you're probably running, and you need some other piece of software to kind of keep track of your node, just in case something hiccups on it and you got to do something with it. And for a person that solo stakes, that just does this out of the box, it takes a little bit. There's really good user guides out there by the ETHStaker community, but it does take some time to go through. And I think what you'll see a little bit later on with the Smartnode stack is it does it all for you in just a couple of command lines.
Thank you, Ken. So another thing that I want to explain to you guys, as I mentioned before, when you create a mini pool, currently we are on a scenario where, as I mentioned, we have the people that just want to stake without running the software. So they deposit their Ether on Rocket Pool and receive the RETH token back. And that contract has a limit on the amount of Ethers that can be deposited. It's currently 5,000 Ether. And the deposit this contract is currently at its full capacity. So what happens is that, okay, when new users want to have to buy RETH, they need to buy it from the market. And it creates a small premium on the RETH price. And when a node operator say, hey, I want to create a new mini pool, a new validator, so it deposits 16 ETH and withdraws 16 ETH from this pool, which means that it opens the space for a new 16 ETH deposit. And as the price on the market is trading at a premium, so this operation allows the person that is making the deposit, that is creating the mini pool, it allows you to create a bundle transaction that creates the mini pool, deposits 16 Ether on this newly created space on the deposit pool, gets the equivalent amount of RETH from that deposit at the official RETH rate, and sells those newly minted RETH, sells at the market for a premium, and you can do a flash loan to grab this extra 16 ETH that is required. So at the end of this process, you repay that loan and keep the premium from this operation. So when we are at this scenario, it's a very good incentive. We saw node operators receiving 0.4 ETH for creating each mini pool. So that is a very good incentive for new node operators. And it's a very interesting way to balance because when we have too many of one kind of user joining the network, like only people depositing without wanting to create new mini pools, it kind of creates an out of balance protocol. So it is a nice way to make the protocol to rebalance the protocol, so you have an incentive for the other kind of group to launch new mini pools and increase the capacity of the protocol. And this is Rocket Arb is a community feature. It was not created by the team. It was something that Ramana developed, both a smart contract that deals with the flash loan required and doing all these operations, and also a script that will create a bundle, so that if you don't use this script, you create a mini pool, and some other bot is going to say, hey, I can make this deposit and profit. So a bot would do that. So using this script, you create a bundle, meaning that you execute all these transactions together, and you can make sure that the person who is creating this new space is the one who's going to profit instead of a random MV bot out there. So kudos to Ramana for this amazing development. Do you remind how many times it was used?
I don't remember. Hundreds.
Really, node operators profited like 400 ETH from using Rocket Arb. So that's an amazing tool. I'm showing here a graph about the MV boost, just to explain a bit about the how it works. To the left, you have the builders that are looking for transactions to the most profitable blocks, grouping transactions to create blocks, and sending this then to at the center the relays, and the relays would send those blocks to validators that are on the right. So Rocket Pool makes it really easy for you to select which relays you want to connect according to which ones you think it's better fitted for your situation. I already covered the rescue node. Sorry. So these features that I mentioned are on the software part, like making it easier to run the clients, to run all those the monitoring tools that come as well with the Smartnode. So that covers the software part, and I'm now going to introduce you to a project by Joe Clapis that is on the Rocket Pool team. That's called Proteus, and it's a staking machine that is ready to go. You buy it and you receive it and you plug it, and it already has the software installed, and it has all the hardware requirements to create to run the software. So you just plug it in and it's ready to go. And let me show you guys one here. Okay. Thank you. So if the camera can zoom here, so it's a extremely tiny machine. It has it's based on the Radsha Rock 5B board, and has a 2 terabytes NVMe disk, an optional Wi-Fi board, and everything that you need. Thank you. To run your validator. Joe did a lot of work into this project, and he created an image with the recommended security features that we otherwise have on our guides for the users to harden their installation. So with this image, you already have all these features set up for you. It is capable of running all the clients. Runs at around 5 to 10 watts, so it's a amazing, efficient machine, especially when compared to the energy requirements when we were on the proof of work. So you replace all those GPUs with now a machine that runs at 5 watts. It's like an amazing improvement. It's a low-cost hardware. All this. Let me show the tech spec here. So all of these components, they're going for, what's the amount? A bit less than $600. And you have also some geek effect on it. It runs on the ARM architecture. The case is made with 3D printed parts. And you have that customized vanity plate where you can send any image that you want printed there. So that is super cool. You can customize with different colors. We have a few units going around if you guys want to take a look. So that's an amazing project by Joe that we can all see how much love and dedication he had to this project. So as I mentioned, it has the Rock 5B, 16 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of SSD, an optional Wi-Fi and Bluetooth module. You can have both options of active or passive cooling. The active has a fan that is super quiet. If you guys later want to
Nocturo fan. Yeah, it's a Nocturo fan in there, so whisper quiet. You can't even hear it.
Yeah, if you guys want to approach here, then we have one that is powered, and you really can hear the fan working. And personalized vanity plate that you can make your own. And here are all the pieces that are used to create the Proteus. It is incredibly small, a small machine. Even smaller than the NUCs that are already a small machine. I have here the QR code, if anyone wants to take order, to order one. There is a online form that Joe set up, and Joe is accepting crypto for the payments, so that's quite easy and a good use for your crypto if you have it there. I'm wanting to cover some next steps about both the Ethereum network with the Shanghai upgrade, and also the expected changes on the Rocket Pool side for this this coming fork, where we're going to be able to withdraw the validators. So I want to cover the process involved. So let me first describe the withdrawals. Because previously, or currently, you make that 32 ETH deposit and you are not able to withdraw. And with the coming fork, we are going to be able to get that ETH back when we want. So for the Rocket Pool process, you would have, we would start with one command on the smart node, that is Rocket Pool minipool exit, and that makes your minipool join an exit queue. The exit queue is around 8 validators can exit every epoch, so you avoid having too many validators exiting at once. So while you're waiting on that queue, you still have to run your node. You're still performing your normal duties. And when you reach the exit state, so you can turn off your node, and you don't need to keep it running. Then there's an automatic process that is going to happen. Either skimming your balance that is above 32 ETH, so that is called skimming. So you receive what is above 32 ETH on your minipool contract, or if you requested a withdrawal, you would receive the entire balance. And when that balance reaches because the minipool is a smart contract that is deployed. So when that ETH reaches your contract, you call a second command that is Rocket Pool minipool distribute balance. So because it will distribute the rewards that is split between the operator and the RETH holders, because they had a part of the Ether on that node, and so they receive part of the rewards. And it gives back the capital, the ETH that was deposited, and distributes the rewards accordingly to the RETH holders and to the node operator, plus the commission that he receives for running the software. After that, he can also call Rocket Pool node withdraw at RPL, because he had some RPL staked to be able to to run the mini pool, so he can also reclaim that RPL. And that's it. It's a simple process with 3 commands. Another very interesting thing that is going to happen when with the new upgrade for Rocket Pool that's called Atlas, we currently require the 16 ETH deposit from the node operator, and we're going to be able to convert that to what's called an LB8. It's a low Ether bond that only requires 8 ETH. So if you have one currently with 16, you're going to be able to start the process to migrate to this more interesting version where you receive commission for 24 ETH instead of only 16. So you call the command Rocket Pool mini pool begin bond reduction, and it will perform some. You have to wait for some checks to be performed. It's called the scrub check. After that, the smart node calls a function automatically that's going to perform the bond reduction. That is the green reduce bond. Not sure if you guys can read that. It's a bit small. With that option, you're going to have a credit to create another LB8. So you would have a command to create this new mini pool. It requires 1 ETH to be available in the deposit pool, and then after some time, the smart node calls a second function that deposits the remaining 31 ETH, and that's it. You converted 1 16 ETH mini pool to 2 LB8s, and you would receive, as Ken mentioned, 46% more rewards than a solo validator. And here's another very interesting flow that Rocket Pool is going to support, which is a person that currently has a solo validator that is not a Rocket Pool node operator, but wants to become one. He can migrate his credentials. If they have a 0x00 credential, they can perform this this credential migration. And so it's going to start by creating a Rocket Pool node, just like any node operator. That's where the person starts creating a new node, staking RPL, because that's the utility of the Rocket Pool token. It unlocks this possibility to receive extra rewards, to receive the commission from REF holders. So you stake RPL, you create what is called a vacant mini pool, because it's going to receive this migration from the solo validator. So it's not a mini pool that you deposit your Ether, like when you create it with a new bond. You're creating one that is vacant. It doesn't have any. You don't need to deposit to create that. And you specify the validator pub key and its current balance. So you've been a solo validator for some time, and it currently has its 32 ETH plus all the rewards that you received as a solo validator. So you specify that information. The Oracle DAO is going to confirm this information, check the credential is valid, check the balance is correct. So that's the scrub check. And at some point, after that scrub check is done, you can promote that vacant mini pool. So it would become an operational Rocket Pool mini pool as any other. And as you had 32 ETH and you converted that to either 16, a 16 ETH one or an LB8 that only requires 8 ETH. So according to which one you select, you would have credit to create either 2 16 ETH or 4 with LB8s. So you can use that additional credit to create these other mini pools. And you would call a refund function that would give you the rewards from your solo validator, and it's a different function than the usual that is split between the node operator and the REF holders, because this part of the rewards it won't be shared with REF holders. It was just the solo validator that received them, so it goes entirely to the node operator. And so this function gets called just once because it's the rewards you received as a solo validator, so you received it entirely. So it's just once. So your future rewards, so as you receive Ether from the protocol, the following distribution is going to be split between you and REF holders.
If I could just add 2 comments I think are very useful for that. So one challenge that Rocket Pool has right now that I think everybody agrees is that even though it has more than 2,000 node operators, it still needs more node operators. The demand for the liquid staking token exceeds the ability for Rocket Pool to actually stake it on Ethereum, on the beacon chain. And so one of the things that this does by reducing the node operator equity or deposit from 16 ETH down to 8, it actually, the way the math works out, it allows Rocket Pool to increase its lift capacity or its ability to stake on the liquid token, the RETH. It increases it by a magnitude of 3. So it's basically going to allow it to double and then double again its staking capacity. And for the node operator, what they get in both of these scenarios, whether or not it's a conversion from an existing Rocket Pool half 16 mini pool to the LEB8s, or if it's a solo validator that wants to then take their 32 ETH and convert it to 4 LEB8s, that they'll be able to get that additional reward. So a Rocket Pool mini pool operator can go from right now, they might be getting 20%, they can go to 46%, and then obviously a solo validator can go from 0% additional return immediately to 46%. So we are kind of anticipating once this is announced, perhaps here later on at ETH Denver with a Medium article coming out by the team, we're hoping to see a large increase to the number of node operators that Rocket Pool already has.
Thank you, Kim.
Wait, one other thing. The key thing on that, sorry, the key thing is that in either case, whether or not you're an existing mini pool operator or a solo validator, with these migrations, the reason they're called migrations is you do not have to exit your existing validator. You do not have to go through the exit queue, which could be long after Chapella here. You don't have to get back into the entry queue, which could also be very long around Chapella here. We'll have to see. You could do it without having to exit the beacon chain at all. And that's the key thing. There's no waiting in line to exit, and there's no waiting in line to get back in.
This was meant to be a workshop with a hands-on experience, but we plan to have some Proteus units that you guys could interact with. But we have some limitations on the network here, so I could just connect one here with a good internet connection. So I can show some of the concepts that we discussed here. So let me.
I'll switch out the mics here for you. I can switch mics, yeah.
Okay. So let me. I have made a connection through my laptop into the Proteus that I have here using SSH. So I'm going to call here Rocket Pool service config. So when you receive your Proteus, connect it to the power, connect to an Ethernet cable or to Wi-Fi. All you need to do is, well, first you're going to, you can connect directly with a keyboard to it. I'm not doing that now. So when you connect a monitor and a keyboard to it and log in, you would only need to run Rocket Pool service config. And I have to lower the terminal. Let's see. No, not work. Here you go. So this is the user interface that I mentioned, where you just, in a very user-friendly way, select, for instance, if you want to run on the Predator testnet, which we always recommend that new node operators start by practicing on the testnet, so they can see all the operations that they would need to perform without risking any funds, and see how your machine performs, if it has the required, if your disk is fast enough to sync the network. You don't need to worry about those tests with the Proteus, because it has a disk that is super fast and all the requirements that you need. But if you're running on your own machine, it's interesting for you to make those tests to see if your hardware is adequate for the task. You can select on the execution client. It is locally managed, so it means it will manage with a Docker container. It's going to download, and you just select if you want to download an image with the latest version from Geth, Nethermind, Bezo. It gives you the options to, you don't really need to change these things, but you have the capability to customize everything, like the ports that are going to be used. If you want to expose the RPC ports, the P2P port is going to be used, cache size. So it comes with the default configuration. It's adequate for running, but if you want to change those parameters, it's very easy to do. Same thing for the if2 client, for the consensus client. You just select which one you prefer, and we are always incentivizing node operators to select the minority clients to avoid having one client being too dominant. And you also have here an easy way to select all the options that you might need to use that client. You can select a fallback client. If you have a second node that when your first node is having any issues, it would automatically try to use the fallback nodes to take over. Here's the MV boost settings, where you just enable it here, and you select which kinds of relays that you want. You can just group them on all unregulated relays, or if you are worried and want to enable just the regulated, or you can also select individually some of the relays that are supported. and Rocket Pool is continually adding new relays for the node operators to select which ones they want, and the operators are free to choose which ones they want to connect to. Here you can enable the metrics, as I mentioned, that you're going to see on that Grafana dashboard. So you really don't need to worry about that. That's all ready out of the box for you. But you can change these configurations if you need to. We have some add-ons as well, like we're currently have the wall paint, the graffiti wall painting. That is, we painted the Rocket Pool logo on the beacon chain wall. So that was something cool that the community on each new block that was proposed, you used the graffiti with the coordinates for a pixel that will be painted, and we painted the Rocket Pool logo. So after you run and select those options, the system, the Smartnode would take care of running the clients for you, and you could have other commands here, like see the logs for the if one, so you can see that it is running and receiving new blocks correctly. If you need to debug some issue, you would grab those logs and post on our support channel, and someone would take a look for you and help you figure out anything that you need to do. Any other comments?
You could do Rocket Pool node sync, might be kind of a useful one, or Rocket Pool node status.
Yeah. So let me show. We have Rocket Pool as the main command, and it has here a few options. So the most used options are the node one, Rocket Pool node, where you have options to see the status, the sync progress of your clients. Let me show the Rocket Pool node sync. So it gives you the information that you're currently on the Proteus network and your clients are fully synced. You'd have important operations here, like to stake your RPL, set your withdrawal address. So that's one very interesting concept. And we always suggest people to, one of the first things that they do when setting up their node is to define an address that would receive all the rewards and would receive the ETH when they withdraw. So that you set this address to a hardware wallet that you keep safe, and so that any of your funds would always end on that address, and you don't risk then being lost.
Yeah, do node status and rewards. Status, node status.
Let's try the Rocket Pool node status. Oh, I don't have a wallet here. Yeah, so you would start by running Rocket Pool wallet init. That's, well, I'm not sure if I would do that. Yeah. But yeah, that's the command you would run to initialize a wallet. So we would give you your 25 words mnemonic that you can use. And that's also one interesting thing, that if you're, when you create your node and you have some mini pools there, so each mini pool has its keys that it uses to validate the network. The only thing that you need to backup is this mnemonic, these 24 words. And when you want to move to a new node with those 24 words, you can recover all your node wallet and all of its keys. You can rebuild the keys with just this single mnemonic. So that's a very easy. The only thing that you need to keep safe is the node mnemonic, and also your hardware wallet. That will be your withdrawal address. And not going to be. I don't know how long we have here.
Probably questions now. You're coming up to 15 minutes.
Yeah, let me just one important thing that is maybe most of you are anxious is that we have a pop for the attendees. So the attendees that are here in person, they were able to mint one pop, and if you guys still didn't mint it, you can do it with Giovanni in the back. And for any person that is watching online, or even for the ones that are here, you can also mint this online version. It's on the Pope checkout, and it's asking for a very small, like $3 transfer to avoid a person grabbing all of the POAPs. And we're going to have some very...
Let me just add something, because I can see a lot of people taking the QR code in the audience. If you're in the audience, you get the POAP for free. In the very back right here, the gentleman raising his hand has an IYK card. Just scan it with your phone, and you get the POAP for free. If you're watching online on Twitch, love you guys, there's the POAP checkout that just has a small nominal fee to prevent farming, and you'll understand why in a second.
Yeah, so just to clarify, there are two versions. One for that you can claim that everyone here can claim for free, and this online version that is on the Pope checkout. And these two POAPs are going to be used as tickets for a raffle. That we're going to raffle one of the Proteus units, and also 5 RPL. That's close to like $250 of price. So you can join the raffle. Anyone holding any of those two, or even if you have the two POAPs, you can join this raffle. That's going to be that's going to run tomorrow. So you have some time to mint the POAP and to join the raffle. And it's going to use the POAP.fun website, so you don't need to trust me. It's the official POAP solution, and it's going to be a fair selection of the winners. So one person is going to take a Proteus home or 5 RPL. That's some very nice prizes. If you want to add. So I'm opening now for any questions you guys may have, and if you're watching the stream and want to send questions you can send them on our Discord as well, and I'll ask someone to read them for me. Anyone have any questions? Could have another microphone.
Every time somebody runs a search on endowment, we pull in more data about more nonprofits. And right now, we're sitting on over 2,500, as we talked about earlier, close to 2,800 different contract packages that represent individual organizations or collective efforts to give a. Hello. I operate a handful of solo validators, and migrating them to Rocket Pool sounds like an interesting option. I was wondering if there's a dry run option with the software to do just that, to perform a dry run without risking my ETH, to see that it's going to work ahead of time.
Okay. I'm not aware. Well, oh no, correct myself. So he asked if there's any way for you to test this migration on a solo validator. So yes, we're going to Rocket Pool is going to have beta testing that on the Proteus network. So you could create a solo validator on the Proteus network and download the Rocket Pool software and practice that on the testnet. So.
Hi. Can you hear me? Yeah.
No.
Can you hear me? Or closer? You mentioned that you can switch from like 16 ETH to 8 ETH by doing this. How many? Sorry. How many validators can you run on like one of your staking solutions, basically?
Okay, that's a good question. So a machine like the Proteus can handle any amount of validators. Like the limit is how much? It's the amount of ETH that you have. So it is. We have people running 900 validators on a single node. So it can handle a very large amount of validators.
Any other questions from the audience here?
I run just two of the current mini pool. I run just two of the current mini pool validators at the 16 ETH size, and if I migrate them over to Leb 8s, will I still be able to execute the Rocket ARB function when I launch those new pools?
Yes. So when you are migrating, it would also let me see if it would open new space on the deposit pool. Well, currently the Rocket app doesn't support that operation. It would need to be updated to any new scenarios that would be available to arbitrage. I'm not sure if that opens because.
Yeah, it's an excellent question. I'm going to have to think about it. I don't think it opens spot in the deposit pool. The other thing that I anticipate is going to happen is that once withdrawals come, we're going to see a very large equalization between the market price and the true value. So I don't think that the imbalance of the price difference is even going to be there, even if the ARB worked. But I like Fornax is saying, I don't think it actually opens up a spot to ARB the ETH because you're just redeeming a coupon.
Yeah. So when you create a new LB8, so you're depositing 8 ETH to create a new mini pool. So that's a different arbitrage. So you would arbitrage with a bigger amount, with 24 ETH instead of 16. So it's an even better arbitrage when you're creating a new LB8. But when you're migrating, we need to take a look at the steps and if there's any point that you could still do that as well, but I'm not really sure. So.
Yeah, and I'm quite positive right now in trading or somewhere on the Rocket Pool Discord, trading is a community can channel, there's probably already 100 people shouting into the Discord there the correct answer. So we should just check there.
Check the Discord and they'll give you the answer.
Anyone else have a question from the audience here? All right. All right, I think that's all the questions from the audience for next.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bob, are we rolling?